I don't know what time it is or what day it is, and it doesn't matter because we're all in quarantine. But I am here today for a virtual visit with David Lee, the proprietor of Cultural Cuba. And his view is considerably more lovely than mine, so I'm feeling a little jealous about that. How you doing today, David?
I would be lying if I complained too much about how I'm doing. Considering the situation, no one needs to be too sorry for me. So let's leave it at that. I'm sheltering in place, as you can see, but in a location that I would choose to be at, even if I wasn't forced to shelter in place. And in fact, believe it or not, where I am, which I can't reveal because, see, my beach is deserted and I just don't want to tell anyone.
Yeah, definitely keep that buttoned up.
I have to keep it that way. So I'm actually able to surf every day and paddleboard and never come close to anyone that I have to be concerned about. So it's a nice situation. I will say it's apropos that I am smoking a cohiba right now and also partaking in one of my favorite beverages, which I don't know if you can even see it on this camera, but there you go. The Havana Club rum.
Havana Club, I have mine.
I'd like to pretend that it's, I could pretend it was all about culture first, but the reality is it did start with the cigars and the rum. I love introducing people to Cuba. It just, it refuels that passion all over again. So, and it's a special place.
It really is, and it has such an air of mystique about it, and people are really, it's very intriguing.
But the reality is, Havana is what you need to see. That's the experience that you need to have, especially the first time you go. And I believe there's a little bit of a misnomer out there that you need to circumvent the entire island or go to other cities besides Havana. It's a beautiful, very large island. It's the length of California, not the width, but the length of California, right? It's big. The next nearest city would be 4 or 5 hour drive to a city where you would want to spend the night, where there's enough to do that you could be there more than, a day and go on a day trip. See Old Havana and spend some time there. Ideally, not only do you want to do a walking tour of Old Havana, but you want to have time to just let it soak in. Be able to sit in a cafe, watch the world go by, to walk around on streets that are not full of tourists, not the street. There are gorgeous streets that are very renovated, and they're beautiful. And then you walk a block off of those, you're still in the center of Old Havana, but you get to see, I hate to call it real Havana, not that the other part isn't real, but this is untouched. And you get a more witness of where people are actually living, what the dilapidation is like, and how the Cubans live their lives for the most part outside, and their doors and windows are almost always open, and it's just a very open kind of society. But what our guides try to accomplish with every single trip is this is more traveling with a local friend, a very fun local friend who is obviously bilingual. But that's the kind of more of the attitude. And so even though you have an itinerary, you're not a prisoner to it. The idea is we're going to do this, we're going to do that. If there's no time for this, it doesn't matter that it's on the itinerary. We're skipping it. Well, we might put it on another day if there's time, but look how, we're having so much fun doing this. Let's continue this direction. Let's see where the world takes us today. Some of that. It's like having a good mix of both.
All the husbands want to know, can I bring the cigars home? How many can I bring? What's the story?
Oh, you mean one of these?
Look at that.
I have one on deck because the one I was smoking is almost done. So here's the great news. This is the great news. The Obama administration, there were restrictions on how many Cuban cigars you could bring back. The Obama administration lifted those restrictions to the point where it's virtually unlimited. They usually say, don't bring more than 100 cigars a person. That's 4 boxes. Okay. That's a lot. That's more than most people can carry anyway.
Right.
If let's just say you go with your husband, you can bring back 8 boxes of cigars.
Okay.
It's the closest, furthest destination you can travel. I have to say, I have to give credit where credit's due, though. That was actually a client of ours who coined that phrase. and posted it. And then I said, I love that. I had, I'm gonna borrow it if it's okay with you. So it defines it very well, especially for those of us who can take a nonstop flight. It's like you are transformed. You leave in the morning. You're in Cuba by lunchtime, and you're in this 500-year-old city that has it's much more of a European city with its Spanish, and it has every kind of architecture, Art Nouveau, Art Deco, very Spanish influence. Again, it feels like you're in Europe. And then you've got this incredibly unique culture and the music and the dance and the arts and even the cuisine and everything. And you're like, oh my God, I'm transported to a whole nother destination. And I flew an hour and a half to get here.
Amazing.
And that's what's so incredible about it. It doesn't matter where I am. I'm always thinking about the next destination.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me today. I truly appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right. Stay safe, and we'll see you.
This was fun. This is a good way to, spend some of this quarantine time.
Listen, we all have to keep busy. All right. Once again, that's David Lee from Cultural Cuba. And stay tuned. We'll see you soon.
Cheers, everyone. Salud.